Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving headfirst into, well, a collection of genuinely intriguing observations, things that have recently captivated communities, across the globe and even stretched out way into the cosmos itself. So our mission in this deep dive, we're going to explore recent unexplained aerial phenomena, stuff from Maine, Texas, California. And alongside that, some really surprising discoveries made using Google Sky. We'll be sifting through viewer footage, online reports, citizen science stuff, basically trying to pull out the most compelling details, help you understand what makes these accounts so unusual.
Exactly. And what's particularly valuable here, I think, is the sheer range. You've got these detailed witness accounts, fleeting objects right here in our atmosphere,
Hmm.
and then you have these more static but just as mysterious structures found way out in deep space imagery. We'll try to connect the dots, yeah. And consider what each of these distinct reports might bring to the bigger conversation about unexplained phenomena, what it all could imply.
Okay, let's kick things off right here in our atmosphere, starting with this really interesting footage. It's from Sean McKenna, posted on Facebook. And it blew up pretty fast, over 63,000 views. Got featured on WJBQ 97.9 radio, the original recording.
Yeah.
You can really hear the shock, the urgency in his voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the caption itself tells quite a story. He says, I apologize for the foul language. Always a good start. I filmed whatever it was this evening looking due west over Buckton, Maine. I noticed one single bright light phase in and out. Then I saw a second one. Grabbed my phone and caught this. He notes the winds were south-southwest, but these things were heading east. Lasted just over a minute. Rushed outside to get a clearer view, but they were already fading out. He asks people to report it if they saw it too. What really grabs you is how suddenly they appeared. Went from a couple to like a whole fleet.
Right. And analyzing the footage itself is key here. It was confirmed, shot through a screen door, not glass. You can even see the screen. That often helps with legitimacy claims, avoids simple reflection issues.
Wow.
And crucially, the lights were seen being blocked by trees. That confirms they were outside in the environment. And when we look for patterns, this is where it gets interesting. There was a very similar fleet sighting. Remember that one over the Bronx, New
I
York?
agree, yeah.
Hundreds, maybe thousands of faint blue lights. They moved in a neat little grouping, really tight, not spread out. It mirrors this main formation. So given how suddenly they appeared, and this very organized fleet-like formation, which isn't typical for, say, atmospheric debris or flares that usually spread out or go up, well, it makes explanations like lanterns seem highly doubtful.
That comparison to the Bronx is pretty compelling. But when you say a fleet moving west to east, are we talking controlled, like moving together on purpose? Or could it just be some weird natural thing that grouped them? Maybe one's aloft, even though he said the surface wind was different.
Well, that coordinated movement is exactly what pushes against a simple natural explanation. If it was just wind, you'd expect some scattering, right? Some individual drifting, especially with them fading out at the end. That doesn't quite track with a typical flare. And he specifically noted they were heading east while winds were south-southwest. That implies movement independent of the local weather, which, suggests something orchestrated. Purposeful behavior. That's often a hallmark of these truly anomalous reports.
Okay. From Maine, let's jump down south. Skies over El Paso, Texas. People often call this city a hotbed of UFO activity. Seems like a lot of strange footage comes from there. This submission is from Victor. Saw two strange objects in the sky driving home from work. Said he had no idea what they were.
And what really stands out in Victor's account are those specific descriptions of how they behaved. He saw them moving in formation with each other, right? With a distinct purpose, slowly across the sky. And the key is what they weren't. No sound reported, didn't look like drones, unlikely to be balloons because of their described weight and how they moved together, synchronized.
Wait! How do you get weight from just looking?
It's more about the perceived momentum, I think, not just drifting aimlessly like a balloon, but moving with intention, like something solid under control. And when you combine that lack of sound with coordinated, purposeful movement, well, that's just an advanced propulsion we don't recognize, not like conventional aircraft or even known drones, which almost always makes some noise. It really implies something quite different from what we can readily identify.
Right. Okay, now for something maybe even stranger. Huntington Beach, California. This was submitted to MUFON, the Mutual UFO Network. They're a big deal in UFO investigation. Case number 81084. The witness heard a rumbling sound, went outside, saw this very odd object, and it was leaving a distinct green cloud behind it, heading southwest, towards the ocean, Catalina Island. Two photos were submitted. The first shows it closer, looking like a saucer, or maybe diamond-like, top lit by the sun, bottom in shadow. The second photo, it's farther away, but you can still see that weird green aura or cloud. It sounds, yeah, almost cinematic.
That is a particularly compelling one, especially that persistent green emission. If we connect this to other reported phenomena, an object putting out this specific, lingering green cloud, it just raises a whole new set of questions. Is it a byproduct of some exotic propulsion, a specific energy signature, maybe some kind of interaction with our atmosphere we just don't understand?
What did the source think it might be?
Well, the source speculated, asking if it could be fuel discharge, exhaust, smoke, or even something more out there, like light or a, quote, tear in our dimension. The fact it was submitted formally to MUFON, got a case number, it does suggest it's being taken seriously. It's not just someone, messing around with a blurry photo. And that detailed shape description, saucer or diamond, combined with that really unique emission, it points towards a distinct class of object that just doesn't fit neatly anywhere.
A green cloud. Okay. From green clouds in our skies, let's shift focus way, way out to something truly cosmic. Anomalous structures found in deep space, specifically findings from Google Sky. Now, for anyone not familiar, Google Sky isn't just a map. It's basically a public telescope, right?
Right.
Lets anyone browse huge amounts of astronomical imagery.
Exactly. It's a massive repository of stitched-together telescope data.
And it's this open access that's turned up some genuinely baffling finds from, regular people, citizen observers. One in particular is this very strange green circular object that's sent in as a looped GIF. It's perfectly visible against the stars. And the description, alien, like an alien Death Star or ship with glowing green lights emanating from inside. The overall vibe is definitely creepy, even sinister. Honestly, when I first saw that GIF, I had to blink. It looks so perfectly wrong, almost like a glitch in my screen. It really makes you wonder what else is just sitting there.
It absolutely does. And the immediate reaction, understandably, is often to dismiss it. Oh, it's a stitching artifact or some kind of digital glitch. But typical image artifacts from stitching, they usually look like lines or pixelated boxes right along the seams where images meet. This thing is, well, it's described as perfectly formed. It blends seamlessly, same resolution as the stars around it, no obvious glitches or stitch lines running through it.
So not just a smudge on the lens or a data error.
It seems unlikely based on the description. And the argument that these massive structures must be glitches just because we couldn't build them, that's frankly a very limited Earth-centric view. Just because humans couldn't build megastructures thousands or millions of years ago doesn't mean other beings, maybe thousands, if not millions of years more advanced, couldn't create enormous things, structures hundreds, thousands of miles across. Maybe it's easy for them.
Like the Dyson sphere idea.
Exactly. It draws parallels to concepts like a giant energy siphoning Dyson sphere. That hypothetical megastructure designed to capture all of a star's energy. Remember the fuss around Tabby's star, KIC 8462852? That star with the weird, unexplained dimming. Some astronomers, for a time, theorized it could be evidence of something like that, a colossal construction. It suggests these Google Sky anomalies. Maybe they represent truly alien engineering on a scale we can barely conceive of.
Wow. That really does shift your whole frame of reference, doesn't it? Makes you think about how limited our own scientific imagination might actually be. Okay, sticking with Google Sky, another viewer sent in an image, this time of an elongated object. It's a single image. Coordinates were provided in the source, apparently, though obscured by text in the image we saw. The object itself, it looks sort of cylindrical, elongated anyway.
And what's compelling about this one is its visual characteristics again. It almost looks like it has light reflecting off a top surface, maybe, with one side or the bottom in shadow. And you can see apparent texture features. It's not just a blurry streak. There seems to be some depth, some definition there.
So another structured object just out there.
Yeah. And if you connect this back to the earlier discussion about capabilities, it just further challenges our assumptions about what advanced constructs might look like in space. These don't necessarily look like random cosmic dust clouds or asteroids. They're distinct shapes, their apparent structure. It forces you to at least consider sophisticated design, whether it ends up being natural or artificial.
So, okay, what does this all mean for us? We've bounced from strange lights over Maine to these silent movers in Texas, that bizarre green cloud in California, and then all the way out to these huge kind of sinister structures apparently lurking in Google Sky data. What seems clear, looking at all these sources together, is this consistent picture emerging. Our skies and maybe our whole universe seem to be, well, full of activity. The sources even say more than they've ever been. It's almost like the more we look, maybe with better phones, better cameras, more people paying attention, the more we see. Or maybe we're just getting better at spotting it.
And that really raises an important question, doesn't it, for all of us? As our technology keeps advancing, better sensors, easier sharing on social media, more citizen science projects like analyzing Google Sky data, and as more people just gain the ability to observe and share these unexplained phenomena, how is our collective understanding of what's out there going to keep evolving? What completely new questions are going to pop up as we get clearer, maybe more frequent glimpses into these unknown realms? And, how might all these seemingly separate observations, lights here, structures there, eventually connect? Could they start to paint a more complete, maybe even more startling picture of the universe around us?